Okay, in this video, I'm going to talk about the rectangle sketch tool in SolidWorks. So here you can see there's a rectangle tool and there's different types. We have a corner rectangle, a center rectangle, a 3-point corner rectangle, a 3-point center rectangle, and a parallelogram. So here we're going to sketch on the top plane and then go to normal 2. You can see here we have our normal rectangle here. We have a center point rectangle. So with the center point rectangle, you'll have these two dashed lines that goes across from each other. I have a 3-point rectangle. So you'll select the first point, second point, and third point. And this is good if you have a rectangle that is not typically oriented where the side of these lines are either horizontal or vertical, as these two are shown. That's why it's shown in a tilted. And then you have a 3-point center rectangle. So this one is good if you know the center location. So this is pretty much like this version, but rotated. So you could think of those two as like equivalents, kind of. And then you have the parallelogram. So you could click 2 points and then drag. That will give you your parallelogram. Okay, so those are the different types of rectangles you can have. And then if you select this rectangle, you can also have different parts of your rectangle for construction. So you can see here that if you click one line and then click for construction, then you could have different segments for construction if you wanted to use that for reference. So notice that when you have something for construction, it's no longer a closed contour, whereas they're all solid lines. That's going to be a closed contour. Okay. So that's how you could have rectangles. And if I select it, you could see that you could have different things to define it. I could turn a normal rectangle into a parallelogram if I were to delete these relations. Then really this just becomes like 4 lines connected to each other. So really what a rectangle is 4 lines connected together for you with certain relations defined for you. So it just makes some of your dimensioning a little bit easier. So let me just go ahead and create a simple rectangle here, the corner rectangle. So usually when you start designing, you want your rectangle corner to be aligned with origin. So to fully define this rectangle, all you really need is to define a length and width. So I could smart dimension this to be like 4 inches and then the height to be 2 inches. Then you can see my sketch has no lines here, and you know that my rectangle here is fully defined. Okay, so that's how you could make rectangles, and you could also, add more rectangles on top here. So maybe I wanted to make some other shape like this. You could um, create more rectangles like that. So you could stack them up any way you like, and then you could define them to be some length. So I'm just gonna go ahead and define these. Okay, so you could create different shapes as well. So notice here that sometimes you may want like a full contour to pass through. So this is where another instance where the construction line might be useful. So I might make these two construction lines, and then this one should also be a construction line. And then here I want a solid line, so I could come here to my line tool and just close off that contour, and then here I could close off this contour. So now I could have like a full like T solid shape with nothing in between. So I could do it like that, or you could also just you could make the same thing here without the rectangle tool. If you just come to the line, maybe you could just create something like this. You could just click, click, um, and this will give you something similar. Okay, and then you go ahead and dimension each part. The only thing is, you may have to do a little bit more dimensioning because the rectangle tool helped you kind of set up some of the relations already. So in SolidWorks, there's usually a million ways to do the same thing, but just with practice, you'll find which way works better for you. Okay, so if you found this video helpful, give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.